1972 brought us some remarkable songs that I can't wait to share with you today. Do you remember these, or had you forgotten about them too? Billy Paul's Me and Mrs. Jones emerged from Philadelphia's vibrant soul scene, but few know the controversial story behind this Grammy-winning hit. Paul, born Paul Williams, started singing at age 12 in 1947, performing alongside Charlie Parker and Miles Davis before his 20th birthday.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
The song's producer, Kenny Gamble, initially refused to release it, concerned about promoting extramarital affairs in an era of significant social change. What many don't realize is that Billy Paul fought hard against being typecast by this song. Despite its success, he wanted to be known for his jazz roots and social commentary. His follow-up single, Am I Black Enough for You?, was deliberately provocative, addressing racial inequality head-on. This bold move essentially ended his mainstream career, but Paul remained proud of standing up for his beliefs. The real-life inspiration for Me and Mrs. Jones remained a mystery for decades. In 2007, Paul revealed that he knew exactly who the song was about: a real Philadelphia couple involved in an affair, but took their identity to his grave when he passed away in 2016, honoring a promise he made in 1972. Blue Haze's version of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes represented a dramatic shift from the original 1933 composition. This British group, formed in Manchester's underground club scene, initially faced legal threats from the original composer's estates for their psychedelic interpretation of the classic. The band's studio sessions were marked by tension and experimentation. They used innovative recording techniques, including playing instruments underwater, to achieve certain effects. The producer reportedly stormed out multiple times during recording, convinced they were ruining a classic song. The final version used takes from 3 different sessions, pieced together after multiple band breakups and reunions. Few fans know that Blue Haze recorded their entire album in reverse, then flipped the tape to create their distinctive sound. The technique was discovered by accident when an engineer played the wrong side of a test tape. When Timmy Thomas created Why Can't We Live Together, he recorded almost the entire song solo, using a Lowry organ and primitive rhythm box purchased from a Miami pawn shop for $38.50. The song's stripped-down production style was born from necessity. Thomas couldn't afford session musicians. The song became an unexpected anthem for the anti-war movement, though Thomas had written it after watching a news report about the Indo-Pakistani War. The simplicity of its message transcended borders, even becoming an unofficial peace song in apartheid-era South Africa, where it was initially banned, then embraced. Here's something fascinating. Thomas initially recorded the song's famous rhythm track by literally punching buttons on his rhythm box with his fist, creating that distinctive beat by accident. He tried to fix it later, but couldn't replicate the original's raw energy. Don't forget to hit that like button if these memories resonate with you. Share your own stories from 1972 in the comments below. What were you doing when these songs first hit the airwaves? Subscribe to catch more volumes in this series, and share these forgotten classics with friends who will appreciate this musical journey. Hurricane Smith, born Norman Smith, was actually the Beatles' first recording engineer at Abbey Road Studios. He worked on every Beatles album from Please Please Me through Rubber Soul, before launching his own performing career in his late 40s with Oh Babe, What Would You Say? What many don't know is that Smith never intended to release this song commercially. He recorded it as a private gift for his wife, using a deliberately old-fashioned style that harkened back to the 1930s. EMI executives discovered the tape by accident and insisted on releasing it, despite Smith's protest that it was too personal.
Oh, babe, what would you say?
The song's distinctive vocal style wasn't an artistic choice. Smith had caught a severe cold the day of recording. Unable to reschedule due to budget constraints, he performed anyway, creating his trademark gruff sound purely by accident. Dueling Banjos by Eric Weisberg and Steve Mandel sparked controversy even before its release. The arrangement was largely copied from an earlier version by Arthur Smith, who successfully sued Warner Brothers and won both credit and damages. The song's association with Deliverance added another layer of controversy that overshadowed its groundbreaking instrumental achievements. The recording process was particularly challenging, as Weisberg and Mandel had a contentious relationship. They recorded their parts separately and reportedly never performed the song together live. The final version you hear is actually compiled from multiple takes, with studio musicians quietly filling in some sections. Surprisingly, neither Weisberg nor Mandel could play the banjo when they were first approached about recording the song. They learned their parts in just 2 weeks of intensive practice, proving that expertise can come from determination as much as experience. King Harvest Dancing in the Moonlight has a dark origin story that contrasts sharply with its upbeat sound. The original songwriter, Sherman Kelly, wrote it after surviving a brutal attack while visiting the Caribbean. The band itself faced numerous challenges, including losing multiple members to drug addiction and controversial political activism. The version we know almost never happened. Producer Dave Robinson initially rejected the song, calling it too happy for 1972. The band recorded it anyways during off hours when they were supposed to be cleaning the studio to pay off their debt. The recording was made on already used tape to save money. Here's something most people don't know. The song's distinctive keyboard sound came from a broken Wurlitzer electric piano. The band couldn't afford to fix it, so they worked the malfunctioning keys into the arrangement, creating that unique sound by necessity. Hey friends, if these memories are stirring up memories for you, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. Share your own Deliverance memories in the comments. Did you see it in the theaters? What did you think when the song first played? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into music history, and share this with friends who appreciate these musical treasures. Diodato's Also Sprach Zarathustra 2001 created a stir in the classical music world, with several orchestra conductors publicly denouncing it as sacrilege to Richard Strauss's original composition. The Brazilian composer and producer faced significant backlash from classical purists, even receiving threatening letters. The recording session was chaotic, with most of the studio musicians initially refusing to play a jazz-funk version of a classical piece. Diodato won them over by paying double their usual rate and promising them anonymity, though their names were eventually revealed when the song became a hit. A curious fact, Stanley Kubrick, who popularized the original piece in 2001: A Space Odyssey, tried to block this version's release. When he finally heard it, he loved it so much that he requested it for his personal collection and used it at parties. Lowden Wainwright III wrote Dead Skunk in just 15 minutes after literally hitting a skunk with his car. Rather than considering it a serious piece of his repertoire, he used it as a joke to close concerts when audiences weren't responding well to his more serious material. Most radio stations originally refused to play the song, believing Dead Skunk was drug-related slang.
There you are, you got your dead skunk in the middle of the road.
The controversy actually helped propel the song up the charts, as teenagers requested it specifically because their parents didn't want them to hear it. Interestingly, Wainwright tried to prevent the song's release, feeling it would damage his credibility as a serious songwriter. His record label released it anyway, leading to a brief legal battle that he eventually lost. Vicky Lawrence, primarily known as a comedian from The Carol Burnett Show, recorded The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia after Bobby Russell's wife, Priscilla Mitchell, turned it down. Russell himself hated the song and tried to prevent Lawrence from recording it, believing it was too controversial for its implications of the Southern judicial corruption.
That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
The song's story was based on actual events from multiple Southern murder cases in the 1960s. Several radio stations in Georgia banned the song, claiming it portrayed the state's legal system negatively. The controversy only fueled its popularity elsewhere. Few people know that Lawrence recorded the song in one take, having never sung professionally before. She was fighting a severe cold and took cold medicine just before recording it, giving her voice the distinctive deeper quality that helped make the song a hit. Stealers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You was written as a parody of Bob Dylan's Paranoia period, with Jerry Rafferty and Joe Egan allegedly composing it during a label meeting where executives were talking about artistic freedom while trying to control their music. The band was actually breaking up during the recording sessions. They completed the song with session musicians because half the band had already quit. The tension in the studio was so high that producers had to record different members separately to prevent arguments.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm
In a strange twist of fate, the song's publishing rights were tied up in legal battles for years. The band members couldn't even perform it live until 1982, despite its massive success. Quentin Tarantino later revitalized interest in the song with Reservoir Dogs, though Rafferty initially refused to allow its use in the film. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you all for joining us on this musical journey through 1972. If you've enjoyed these stories behind the songs, please support the channel by hitting like and subscribe. Share your own memories of these songs in the comments below. Every story adds to our shared musical history. Until next time, keep those turntables spinning and those memories alive. This has been another volume of 1972's Forgotten Songs, where every track tells a story that deserves to be remembered.